Bless. Welcome to the blessed place. How y'all doing? I was sitting here trying to think of a video topic and I just couldn't come up with something. And then I went to GiGi's channel, To Be Me is to Be Free, and she has a tag, what is attractive to you about a man? Or what is attractive about a man to you? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. And I said, woof! Girl, that's the topic right there. Because I loves a good man. Anyways, so I had to go brush my hair down for this. Alright, so let's get to it. She said you could talk about what's attractive to you about your man, or what is attractive to you about man in general, or what's attractive to you about the man that you want. Well, honey, I thanks God that I got the man that I want. It took 38 years of patiently waiting in Christ Jesus, but I got the man that I want. And let me tell you, first of all, I'll tell you what I find attractive about him. And then I will tell you some things that I find attractive in a man in general that my husband does not possess. But bless his heart anyway. Okay, what I find attractive about my husband is I wanted a man who was smart but not a know-it-all. And my husband is smart, but he is not a know-it-all. I wanted a man who was well read and could have a conversation on diverse topics, and he can have a conversation on any topic. And I've always said, I just kind of use this little barometer or pendulum, if you will. I said I always want a man who we can have lunch in the ghetto, and honey, we can go have dinner at the White House. And that's the kind of man I have. I mean, we can, like I say, we can go to a party, we can play spades, we can have a good time, and then if we got invited to the White House, I don't have to be embarrassed. You know, can my man hold his own? If we were to meet President Barack and First Lady Michelle Obama, I have no qualms, no question, no problem that not only can he hold his own, I know the president will walk away quite impressed with my man. And see, that's the kind of man I love, that when he walks away from you, he has left an indelible impression in your mind. And that's the kind of man I have. I wanted a man who was somewhat opposite from me as far as being more I guess you would say, not extrovert. I wanted a man who was more of an extrovert, because contrary to what it might look like on YouTube, I'm more of an introvert. And I didn't want both of us to be introverts. I mean, we would hardly leave the house if both of us were introverts. But since marrying my husband 5 years ago, I have met more people in 5 years that I think I have met in my entire life. And that is no exaggeration and no lie, because this man does not know a stranger. I love a man who is kind and thoughtful. I mean, that is what is attractive to me. A man who thinks of others, but especially his woman, above what he thinks for his, selfishly for himself. He is so thoughtful. I mean, he is so thoughtful to the point that I'm like, I didn't know they made people this thoughtful. I did not know that it was possible to be just that considerate and thoughtful as this man is. And y'all, I'm working on being thoughtful. I ain't thoughtful at all. I mean, I'm just gonna tell the truth, shame the devil. I can come, I mean, just little stuff, like I can come home and I can get me something to eat, and then when I get home, he said, did you bring me something to eat? It's like, no, I didn't think about you. That's sad. But I don't know if there's one time ever in the 5 years we've been married that this man was like, no, I didn't think about you. I'm talking about something as simple. Okay, any ice lovers out there, even if you're not an ice lover, y'all know that I love ice. I love eating ice. I love crunching ice. Pretty much addicted to ice. Y'all, I got up one morning. Well, it wasn't morning, y'all. It was about 11 o'clock in the day. I got up and went to the fridge to get me, I was getting some cereal, so I went in the fridge to get me some milk. And there was a tall cup of ice that this man had gone to the convenience store up the road and just went in there just to get me a cup of ice and put it in the fridge. Oh my goodness. Y'all, words cannot convey the things that are attractive about my husband that I didn't even know was possible to have in a man. I'm just telling you the truth. And maybe that was because the way I grew up and the environment that I grew up in and the men that I grew up around, that I did not know it was possible to have this type of man. So those are the things that I find attractive in a man. Basically, I was just listening to GiGi and I was thinking, oh my goodness, she wants the same, what she finds attractive in the man is the same thing I find attractive in a man. And I said, well, maybe that's what most women want in a man. I don't know. But what I find attractive in a man is a man who's intelligent but not a know-it-all. A man who's well-versed, well-read. Someone who can teach me something. I mean, like one of my favorite authors is J. California Cooper. And my man turned me on to J. California Cooper. You talk about attractive? A brother that can turn you on to an author? And especially a female author? That just tell you about his sensibilities. But most of all, a man that loves the Lord. I mean, he loves the Lord. And that's what I love. That's what I find attractive about him. That not just in words, but in deed. And how it manifests itself mostly is in the way he loves people. In the way he loves people, and not just me. Because women, let me just give you a little nugget. You got a man who's nice and kind and good to you, but he's mean and nasty and hateful and mean to people, or to his mom, or to his siblings, or to his co-workers. Honey, it ain't gonna be long before that anger and madness and all that transfers to you. So don't just get a man that's just nice and kind and generous and thoughtful and all that to you, but how does he treat the gas, I was gonna say gas station attendant, but I'm going way back in the day when they used to pump your gas. But how does he treat the front desk clerk? How does he treat the waiter, waitresses? How does he treat the usher at church? How does he treat the little children? You know? Okay, I'm going off on a whole nother video. Okay, but let me just sum this up by saying the things that I find attractive in a man that my husband does not possess, that I wish he did. I love a man that can dress. There is just, there's nothing like an intelligent, articulate man who can dress and smells very, very good hygiene and can smell good. Now my husband has excellent hygiene, but the brother don't know a thing about dressing. Y'all, zero. And then he likes to kick against my expertise when I try to tell him about, how to dress or whatever, because, he's like, I am man, hear me roar. You will not tell me how to dress. But 5 years, he's just starting to let me, dress him. I mean, he even said yesterday, he went out somewhere, he said, ooh, baby, I got 2 compliments on my shoes. He got some nice little black Ralph Lauren polo shoes. And he's like, ooh, baby, I got 2 compliments on my shoes. I said, yeah, let me dress you a little bit more. You'll get a lot more compliments. So that's one thing. I wish my husband was more meticulously well dressed. And I love a man that can articulate. Now, my husband is intelligent and he is smart, but honey, he can mess up some words. That's why I call him Brown. Y'all know he's affectionately known as Brown. And honey, I don't know who let him grow up messing up them words. Why ain't nobody told him he messing up Mississippi, calling it Mississippi? And why nobody told him that burgundy is burgundy and not burgundy? Who let him mess up the words for 40-some years? But I'm not having it. Anyways, I wish my husband was much more articulate. But one thing though, although he talks like Brown, he is very intelligent. So I do love that. So those are a couple of things that I love in a man, that I find attractive in a man, that my husband is not. As far as being meticulously dressed and being able to articulate. But honey, that's alright. Because God has blessed me abundantly and above all that I could have asked or thought. GiGi, I love this topic. That was just awesome. And thank you for the tag. Y'all be blessed.